only a budgeting wizard, but he knows everything about blogging and social media and all of this kind of stuff that I didn't have a clue about. And he's been very good to help me learn a lot about it. And we've actually been able to generate some good interest in the Center for Performance-Based Budgeting, or no, yeah, did I say that right? um, just through some of his postings and some of the things that we're doing. So we wanted to make sure that we got CCHPO involved in this as well. And I guess you guys probably drew the short straw, but because I know John Pickering, there is no way that he's ever going to do this. So thank you for being willing.
He's a self-proclaimed Luddite, but don't believe him for a minute. He'll get in.
Well, I hope so. I hope so because it's I think it's pretty exciting actually. Just and I'm excited about what I've learned in the
Great.
process.
Thanks for the context.
So,
Well, great.
Chris, I'm gonna hand this off to you then.
That sounds great. Well, and thanks for the introduction, Cheryl. I'd say I'm far less of an expert, but the other point that you brought up about generating some leads from this, I think once you guys get into this, you might find it interesting. You might not. You might find it a hassle. It might be difficult to learn and cumbersome. Once you get a single project that comes from this, then you'll love it.
Yeah.
And that's what our experience has been. It's through social media, whether Facebook, blogging, participating in LinkedIn. We actually have a Twitter account now. The main thing that we've found of value is that people are accessing information in different ways these days, and certainly not everybody is out there connected. And so there are still plenty of people who will never read the blog. They'll still want to receive information as a hard copy, and that will always be the case. But if you can picture this as just one more way, in a very unbelievably easy way, to get information about your work and what you're doing out there, so that someone who may have never had a reason to hear of you all of a sudden has this information and they're interested, then how wonderful is that? That's the whole perspective on it that makes it exciting. So with the Center for Management Strategies, Cheryl, who doesn't call herself an expert, but is the person who got the website up and running, established the blog, and now got us a Center for Management Strategies group, has us set up with some great infrastructure out here. And maybe as a step one, I was just going to show you guys how to get into the Center for Management Strategies blog and contribute posts to the blog. And then I'll also show you the Center for Management Strategies group, which is another thing where you can post information and articles. And as I go through this, I don't have any real structure to this. So ask questions along the way. And furthermore, I actually am recording this as we go through GoToMeetings service, so that if you want to return to it to remember something that we were talking about, I can post this to YouTube afterwards, and you can have it instead of taking copious notes.
Sounds good.
Great. Thank you, Chris.
All right. So this is the ICMA homepage when you open it up, and I'm sure you guys have been to the homepage before. And what we're talking about with the blog and the group is here in the Knowledge Network. And I'm sure you guys are familiar with the Knowledge Network. John, who's the other co-founder of Center for Priority-Based Budgeting, has used the Knowledge Network for years. The interesting part about the Knowledge Network lately is that it's become far more social, meaning there's just many more opportunities to participate and collaborate and exchange information with others.
Mm-hmm.
as you open up the Knowledge Network,
Chris,
oh, go ahead,
Chris,
Cheryl.
just before, I'm not sure that I don't know if Phil and Kay are actually all that familiar with the Knowledge Network. I, have you guys been on this before?
This is Phil. I have. When you had your knowledge network guru take us through it, I was able to
Okay.
participate in that session. I don't know about Kay though. Kay, have you?
I don't know much about it. Phil just showed me how to get on it and edit my profile. So that's what I've done so far. I'm not familiar with it though.
Okay, excellent. Well, what this is it's actually a collaborative effort between the Alliance for Innovation and ICMA, and it's a place that you can pose questions. You can do blogs like what we're doing. There's actually wikis out there, which I think is some kind of a shortened term for like a encyclopedia kind of posting of stuff. You can post um, uh, articles and publications and that sort of thing here as well. Um, so it's really an online opportunity for people to communicate and to get information from one another out there. So just to give you a little bit of background on what it is before we start going through it.
Fantastic. So, Kay, thanks for writing your email. I'm going to assume that when you guys access this in the future, you'll have logged in as yourself with your username and your password. You can see I'm logged in up here. I have an inbox that I don't know how to clear out necessarily, so that's why I have 458 messages in there. But so now you're logged in, and once you access the Knowledge Network, you'll see there are all of these different tabs, um, places within the Knowledge Network that you can access. The homepage here is kind of the main dashboard, and as you look around, you can see here are questions and answers. You have the ability to post questions out there, and here's me. I just posted one earlier today, and we'll get to that in a second. Here is where the latest blog posts appear. And so Center for Management Strategies has its own blog, and other people have blogs as well. And you can see here's Cheryl with one of her posts. Here's a blog post that I put on Center for Management Strategies earlier today. Over here are hot topics. And what these bubbles are with the phrases in it and these little icons that look like a price tag. These are called tags, and I'll show you what this is. But it's metadata, and what happens is when you post a blog or you post a question or you answer a question or you do anything in terms of posting onto the Knowledge Network, you can attach one, none, or many tags to your post, which simply says that your post has to do with these topics. So if you posted something that had significance to the public safety world, you can tag whatever you just said to public safety. And what happens in the Knowledge Network is they're now associating your content, what you just posted, and what everybody else is posting with the tag public safety. And if you ever just wanted to know what the latest is in public safety, you can click on this and it'll bring up the latest and most pertinent content around this tag of public safety. So it's cool. The technology enables you to coordinate all this information and organize it in this great way. So for you guys, important tags are going to be things like high performance organization, performance measurement, change management, all sorts of things. And you'll see where these become vital as we go through this in a little bit. So,
Okay. Thanks.
all right. Let's go to the blog, or when we click on blogs, let me see what happens here, because this will be exactly what happens on your end. It's pulling up a blog directory. And right now we happen to be in the blog directory among the most recent, the top featured Knowledge Network blog. So you can access this right away. I'm not sure what will happen if we weren't there. But what I might do really quickly is send.
Chris, what about the new blog post out to the right? It looked like start a new blog or new blog post.
Let me go back here to what you were just seeing. Oh yeah,
So on the right, might be one of those. All right.
sure. So start a new blog. That's what we clicked on when we actually developed the Center for Management Strategies blog.
Okay.
And so,
That's
Cheryl,
probably blog post.
this is kind of a question back to you. As we contribute our posts, we're going to want to have them all go to the Center for Management Strategies blog rather than creating a high performing organization blog or a priority based budgeting blog, right?
I think so,
At least for now.
Chris. I think that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. If
Yeah,
we
that
get
makes
it.
sense to me.
Okay. For new blog post,
Mhm.
I'm just going to click that and see what happens.
It's the best way to do this stuff. Just try it. I think that's John Pickering's problem. He's afraid he's going to break something, but keep trying. You can't break it, John. Don't worry about it.
You know what? He's so good. He's so good with all the PowerPoint stuff and all
He
that.
is. No, he's good.
I mean, he's a wizard.
That's a cover story. This Luddite thing is a cover story. That way he
Yeah.
doesn't. Yeah.
That's what I was figuring.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Well, this is interesting.
What did he do? Let's see.
This allows us to do a new blog post, but I don't know where it would go. That's my only concern. Oh, I see.
Chris, yeah, it's under there. There it is. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So right now, the reason that for me, it's coming up with the Center for Management Strategies as a possible blog to post to is because I'm already a member of that blog, which is going to be something we want to invite you guys into.
Let me try it. Well, let me try it while we're talking. I think Cheryl made us a member of that group. So
okay.
It doesn't show up as a drop down for me when I try new blog post.
I think you might have to post once, Phil, for it to do that. But if you, you know what? I made you guys a member of the group.
Yeah.
Not the blog.
Not the blog.
So
we need to be part of the blog. Yeah.
How do we do that?
That is a good question. So,
darn, I don't know. We'll have to figure that one out.
Let's see. Maybe there's a way I can join if I click on the other one that's there. Chris Fabian.
Yeah.
Now I can subscribe via RSS. There's a whole bunch of contributors, including John Pickering and Wayne Summer. Let's see.
Contributors. Oh, hey, here we go.
I think you may just have to add us as contributors some way. Is that a way?
Yeah. Phil, I'm looking for you.
HARNDEN.
Yep. Yeah, let's see how to.
There you are.
Yeah.
Phil's in.
Okay. And then
Right.
Kay Hudson.
As well, too.
Let's see. Didn't like that.
Did you actually make Kay a member of the group as well?
Not.
Is Kay registered on the Knowledge Network?
She is, yes.
I just did. That's new though.
Yeah, well, it was a couple hours ago or an hour ago. So, did you invite her? Did you invite her like you invited me, Cheryl?
No, because her name was coming up the same way it is here.
Oh.
Kay, are you signed in with something different other than Kay Hudson?
What I did, I signed in as Linda K. Hudson. I'm sorry.
Linda? Okay. So
Linda.
That's
I can change that.
No, that's okay.
That's just Linda Hudson. Try Hudson. Yeah.
Or just Hudson.
Oh,
there it is.
Is
Here
this
she
you?
is.
Here I am.
Hey. All right. Beautiful. So I'll save this. Now I'm back. Phil, do you want? Here you are. You're a contributor now, and so are you, Kay.
Okay, good.
Let me check. Yeah. Refresh. I
Phil, are you
see Linda
trying?
Hudson. That'll confuse everybody. Linda Hudson, who's that?
Yeah, I'll change my name, and I'll also add my.
All right, yeah, Phil Harnden shows up now. Let's see, but that doesn't get me to do the blog. Let me go back one, hang on. Edit blog post or new blog post. Let me try that. New blog post. Yep, now it shows up. Center for Management Strategies.
Hey,
Okay, so we're in
success.
it. Good. Terrific.
Very good. Okay, that was great. Um, well, the last step then is when you go to do a new blog post, which Phil you're already getting to, and Kay, did you see where
Yep.
that was located?
Yes.
Okay. Here's how it comes up every time, and just like Phil's talking about, you want to pick the Center for Management Strategies. I think it's probably the only one you can pick for now.
So far, yeah.
Right.
um, you enter in a title for what you're going to talk about, and I'll show you a couple that we've done here just recently. I think yesterday, one of the posts that we wanted to contribute was just a summary of links to many of the articles that we've written, so that
Mm-hmm.
people would say, "Oh, wow, here's kind of a library on everything that the Center for Priority-Based Budgeting has written on the topic, uh, and we can access it all in one place. That's great." And this is one of the things that we were talking about as we kind of launched the Center for Management Strategies. This is a key piece of information: is if you guys have articles or publications or information that you want readily available, maybe that could be one of your early blog posts. Is just
Mm-hmm.
for the first time, all the information you've ever wanted on high performing organization together at last, something like that.
So just on that topic, Chris, did you link back to your website in that case? Because we do have a number of those posted on our website.
Yeah.
Or do you have them other locations as well?
Um, Many of the articles we either tried to link to their original source, like to ICMA, where we had
Okay,
published something, or to GFOA, the government finance officers.
I
But
see.
so long as it's a live link that you're not worried about going away at some point, then
Okay,
that's perfect.
that makes
So
sense.
what's cool is, let's say this is uh, for the first time all HPO articles. I won't publish this. um, Down here is where you're putting in the content, and if you
Mm-hmm.
wanted to say, here is article number 1
Mm-hmm.
from John Pickering, blah blah blah. You can highlight as much or as little as you want of this, and
Mm-hmm.
actually create a hyperlink. You can make that word clickable, as you've seen elsewhere on the web, I'm sure.
Sure.
And the way to do that is to click this little chain, these little
Mm-hmm.
chain links, while this is highlighted, and it's going to associate whatever web address that you want it to point to with the word that you have highlighted. So you click this,
Mm-hmm.
and in here you can just paste from whatever other web address you come across, or if it was
Mm-hmm.
ICMA.org, you insert.
Yeah.
It says the URL you entered seems to be an external link. That's fine. And now you can see this word has that hyperlink associated with it.
Right.
So does that make sense? As you are linking documents, wanting to just point people to things, this becomes really helpful.
Okay.
The rest of the post, I mean, that's probably one of the biggest things.
Mhm.
The rest of this is just basic word processing. You don't have all the functions, so don't get frustrated. Whoever designed this on ICMA's end limited it so that the blog posts are pretty uniform and standard. So you have the ability to boldface certain things. You can italicize certain words. You can use bullet points or one, two, threes. Um, and that's kind of it. Oh, you
Mhm.
can insert pictures, which
Okay.
that's cool. So if you clicked on this, um, insert
Do you
an
have to
image.
upload the pictures to someplace, or it takes them from anywhere? Oh, good.
Yeah,
Cool.
so there is a database of existing pictures, it looks like, from ICMA's own blog.
Okay. Hmm.
And then you can upload a new image, just like you're talking about, Phil. If you click browse, and it will go to your own desktop and um,
Good.
wherever you have pictures
Hmm.
stored.
Nice. Good.
The pictures are cool just because they do get attention on that front page.
Sure. Yeah.
Any sort of catchy graphic ends up being, attractive.
Yep.
So I'll go ahead and clear that. This one, insert predefined. I'm not sure what that one is actually.
Try it. Let's see what it does. Try it. There you go. So you get to choose a template, it looks like.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
yeah. I haven't messed around with that one.
Okay.
And then, oh, um, if you, I don't even know how these work, but um, in the middle of your blog, it's. I mean, this is a program, and it's actually running with a bunch of commands in HTML. So I don't know if you guys know HTML. That's how you get into the back end of this if you wanted to mess around with the programming.
I know what it is, but I think all I've ever done with it is goof it up. So
Yeah, right. Sounds good.
Never use HTML again, so I'm going to ignore that one.
what's
Okay.
that?
Me too, Kay.
Yeah.
Um, so any questions here? I mean, this is where you would write the main content, and I won't go into the strategy of blogging. That'll, I mean, we can certainly talk about that, but this is just the technicalities of how you actually enter in the content and create the blog.
Well, give us 25 words on the strategies, Chris.
Okay. From our perspective, 25 words. Uh, um, Create a title that you would respond to, um,
Yeah.
and that doesn't sound like a consultant trying to advertise. I mean, one of the things about the
Yeah.
Knowledge Network that's so cool is
Uh-huh.
it appears to be truly colleagues communicating back and forth, trying to ask questions that are helpful to their work. So
Hmm.
it's tricky. I mean, I just posted one earlier today that I was trying to get to trying to inspire people to write us questions about priority-based budgeting, and we'll find
Uh-huh.
out if anybody actually contributes to it or if they feel like it's a fishing expedition. Um,
Okay.
Another thing is um, try and give people a chance to participate to the
Uh-huh.
extent that that's possible. So if you're writing something, it's almost like an article, a mini article. You have your point that you're trying to contribute, but you also want the blog. The intent of it is not just you pushing information out there, but it's trying to create a back and forth.
Right.
Um, let's see.
That's good. Those are two good points.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some others. Um, I mean, as we're all kind of contributing towards the launch of Center for Management Strategies, so far we're taking the approach of, uh, constantly trying to relate it back to the ICMA Center for Management Strategies more so
Right.
than our own operation. Just trying
Hmm.
to build this identity because it doesn't
Sure.
exist yet. So
Yep.
we're trying to say the little about ourselves at this point, more about the new leading practice of priority-based budgeting. Blah blah blah. Contact Cheryl Hilbert for more information. Uh,
Good. fill up Cheryl's inbox. I like that strategy.
Isn't that nice?
But then it can just continue to make people aware of what is the Center for Management Strategies, and then just overall, Cheryl had sent the email out. But one thought that we've had is, we're spending this week, John Johnson and I, trying to load up the blog with priority-based budgeting information, and whether anybody realizes that we're calling this priority-based budgeting week or not. There's certainly a post. We're trying to do one every day this week. Some people will say, well, what is this? Why do they keep posting about priority-based budgeting? And maybe they'll tune in. And then the hope is, I think next week or maybe the week after would be an HPO week with the same thing. So just really dedicated to someone's going to hear about this 3, 4, or 5 times. Here's more information about HPO, which could be really good to just build up the identity of CMS.
Okay.
But now, Chris, didn't you tell me that we should shoot for no more than 3 postings per week?
That's true. So
or did I make that up in my own head?
No, you absolutely didn't. So 2 things. One, during this priority-based budgeting week or HPO week, the thought was at least get a couple of posts out there if you can. But maybe this is the one where we can be a little more obnoxious of having 4 or 5 actual posts, because we're just trying to get more information out there. As we move forward, another strategy is, if people don't want to see your blog go dormant for a while, where you're only posting one thing every other week because it's boring.
Sure.
They want to see content. And the more that you're out there, the more content you're contributing, to the extent that it's useful to people. That's kind of the name of the game. You stay relevant, you stay hot. But there is a way to overdo it. And for any of you guys who spend any time on LinkedIn, you know those people. You see them, they post too much. And they're always contributing to conversations, and whether they are aware of this or not, they come off as wannabe experts, and it just comes off the wrong way.
Yeah.
So that was the rule of 3 that Cheryl's describing. After this week, I think we're going to try and, at least from our end, absolutely no more than 3, but something like that.
Good. Hey, Chris, back to the tool itself.
Uh-huh.
Where do you add the meta tags that we looked at before?
Great.
There it is. There it is. Topics. Okay.
Yeah.
Just where it's down far enough. Okay.
And Kay, if you're looking at this too, here's topics and other tags. Topics are already predefined. They're out there in the Knowledge Network. And so this becomes live. Start typing a topic name. So you click on it. And if we wanted to do performance-based budgeting, here it is. And you come down and you click on that. So now the tag is created.
Got it.
If you made a mistake and wanted to do something else, there's a remove button. So you can click that and it goes away.
Cheryl, on that, did we get high performance added as a topic?
I don't believe we did.
Okay.
The one guy is gone.
The one guy. The guru.
There's another person, but I'm not sure that they're there yet. So we'll have to keep pushing on that one. So Phil, don't let me forget that.
All right. So Kay, on these tags, those are the same ones that you would add, or similar to the ones that you would add to your profile?
Right. Yeah, I tried that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that.
Yep.
Cool.
And Chris, from my standpoint, I think this is, I wish they gave you a drop-down box that you could choose from.
I know.
But they don't. So what I've done is I kind of highlighted a bunch of them on the blogs that I've done. So, you guys may even want to just take a look at who I've copied, what groups I've copied, because I've done like organizational development, leadership, innovation, process improvement,
Yeah, when I was doing them for my
they do have that.
If you alphabetically, yeah, they would do that. Yeah.
They
also at least on the profile, you could get to the master list and see what was there. That's what I did, was look at all the topics and then pick the ones that looked relevant. So
Oh, okay. So
Cheryl,
you just start with A?
what I'm showing you is the workaround. There is no drop down menu like you're saying, but the indirect way of doing it is you type A and it brings you all the A topics,
There you
um,
go.
or you type B and brings up all the B topics. So that's not the best way to do this. You don't want to go through the alphabet the entire time, and you'll get used to the tags that you constantly want to use. But if you wanted to see all the different possible topics, that's one way to do it. Phil,
yep.
until we get actual topics around high performing organization and priority based budgeting, what I did earlier today, in other tags, you can type whatever you want. So, and the beauty of this is, organization. Yeah, spell it right. It'll say this tag is new. Do you want to add it to the database? And it'll say, okay, so now it exists. It won't go to the topics area, but anybody searching ICMA now for high performing organization, your post will come up.
Okay, that's a good idea. And then as you get more, the bubble will get bigger, right? That bubble is sorted by number of connections or something. So, all right, good.
You got it. The bigger bubble, though, that word cloud thing.
Yep.
Okay.
I like it.
A couple other things down here below that you have the option to do. You can allow comments or not allow comments. So, I don't know, just I guess think about that. If you had a post that you didn't want to allow comments.
Not sure why you would do that, but yeah, you could, I guess. It kind of defeats the reason for a blog, but yeah.
Right.
Well, Chris, on that topic, have you thought about having any of your customers weigh in on any of this stuff? And does that make sense as we start posting more things, that somebody like an Eric Keck would jump on and say, yeah, da 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 da? I mean, does that make any sense?
It's a great idea. So, I guess for instance, one of the things we're thinking about wanting to contribute is the city of Walnut Creek just sent us a document that they produced and they sent to all their citizens, and it's a magazine style budget that their hope is they've created the story of the budget that citizens can relate to, that they can actually read and understand what in the world the city is doing, and it's fantastic. Well, we might consider posting it and then at the same time asking Walnut Creek, hey, if you guys want to comment on this and provide some perspective and actually be a resource to people if they want to talk more about it and hear more about what you've done, that might be a way to do that. So similarly on the HPO side, if that made sense, that's a great idea, Cheryl. That's the whole point of this. You're right, is we're going to post something and we want to have the real clients chime in and contribute and be recognized too.
Chris, I could always also invite Marco Polo to.
Is that even a real name, do you think?
I don't know. Kay and Phil, that's a guy. Chris posted on LinkedIn, and it's a guy that's on. He's just wanting to hear himself talk, I think. And so I got on there and posted something. I said, from a practitioner's point of view, da 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 da. Well, now the guy's writing me directly on my email.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like weird.
Yeah, here's Marco Polo.
Sounds like a lurker to me or something.
Okay, so
looking to engage.
Yeah, this is exactly right. You guys will find there are Marco Polos out there. This guy doesn't even appear to work for local government. He writes these long, just disastrous posts that Cheryl writes, can you help us decipher what this means? And you'll find that there are those people too who are equally as annoying, who write comments to every post. They're all over the place, and we try to not get sucked into them unless they are actually somebody who might be interested in our work. But Cheryl wrote this great note back, and now he's writing Cheryl directly. Sorry, Cheryl.
Well, and I noted you haven't interpreted it for me.
No way. It has to go to an archaeologist.
Okay, that's kind of scary.
Well,
there's 25 professionals named Marco Polo on LinkedIn, so who knows?
Stay away from this one.
Apparently.
This is a great function. It says publish later. If you have the time today or tomorrow at lunch to develop a post, but you want to time it so that it comes out next week, or you wanted to make sure you had the time today to write the post, you won't have the time next week, and you want to do it ahead of time, you can just type this in for whatever date in the future, and it'll give you a time when you want it to post. This is cool. Oh, another strategy. And you, again, use your own experience, for instance, from LinkedIn or reading other material. When do you tend to look at the internet? When do you tend to have free time? Most people, it seems like, or at least we get the greatest amount of hits when we post something that's towards first thing in the morning, whether that's Mountain Time or Eastern Time. We try to post things that are 7 o'clock Mountain Time, 8 o'clock Central Time, something like that, because that's when most people are having a cup of coffee and actually signing onto the computer for the first time, and they might actually read what you posted. It's cool that you can set up the right time to be published and be live right when someone's bound to read something. The other thing is, if you post late at night, chances are someone might not be on the internet or reading it at that time, and by the next morning there might be 3 other blog posts that have come in, and since they come in sequential order, yours will be moved down or possibly all the way off the list before anybody ever had a chance to read it.
Okay, that's good to know.
All right. Well, so that's kind of the blog 101. Ultimately, you can save your post if you made progress and you just weren't ready to post it, or just go ahead and launch it and publish the post, and that's that.
How about length of post?
How about
Chris?
what?
How about the length of the post? Longer, shorter, medium, or highly variable?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Man, again, I would go back to your own experience. When do you get bored reading a post?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of long posts, but I do see it seems like I see a lot of them. So
sure.
I don't know if that's my individual preference or if that's one of the principles.
Man, and maybe it depends too. It's like if you have something that you really want to contribute, that's like some thoughtful observation on an organization that's just gone through HPO, you write a longer post, and if it's just something really quick, keep it short. Maybe shorter is better as a rule, and then if you have some serious contributions to make, just don't make it 8 pages.
That makes sense.
Okay. Kay, any questions on the?
No, I'm just really impressed and taking it all in. I'll probably have some later.
Okay, that's great. And Cheryl, anything else before we move on to groups?
No, well, I guess just a question. Do you guys think that you might be able to pick up and do something next week on this? Or even the week after, just to keep this thing moving?
Yeah, supposedly the network is going to support it, so we'll find out. I say that laughingly. I say that laughingly because we've talked about this before, but we haven't quite pulled the trigger. So
I think you guys are on your own.
That's my biggest fear of this being a point of contact, quote unquote. So that's why Kay is going to help out here, right, Kay?
Sure, Phil. Right behind you, Phil.
This is what we normally get. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But you guys, I think you have so much in your suite of services that you provide.
Yeah.
I think you could spend a blog talking about just some aspect of the theory.
Sure.
You could talk about the evolution of work. You could talk
Mm-hmm.
about teams. You could talk about the work of leadership.
Oh yeah, there's a
Um,
lot. There's a lot of
th-
potential.
there's tons, and then you could go on and talk about things like lean and the use
Mm-hmm.
of those types of process improvement tools
Mm-hmm.
and those kinds of things. I mean, I think you have almost an unending supply of that kind of stuff given what you have available.
I agree.
Yeah.
Potentially, it's there. Yeah, yeah.
And Kay, just put Jerry to work.
Absolutely. That's my number one strategy. Okay.
Yeah. Tell him he's got to start working for a change.
He's at work this week. Yeah, yeah.
We've all sort of, and Phil knows this, we've all sort of played around with articles. This will actually be a great opportunity for us.
Yeah.
We can shorten them and put them out there on the blog and even add to our articles. So that should help.
I think it'd be great.
Good. So you want us to start next week, as in Monday? That's the schedule. I don't recall the schedule that you had suggested at one time.
Yeah, I think if you could do something next week, even if it's just, one or two that go up next week. And then I think what we'll do is we'll just alternate. I'll take the next week, and then CPBB can go, and then you guys can go, and we'll just keep it rotating that way.
Okay.
And I think as long as we all check
Mm-hmm.
the thing regularly and see when we're up. I can certainly post a schedule if you want me to do that, or we can just kind of.
I think we're okay with just reminding each other, hey, you got it next week kind of thing would probably work. I'm sure
That would be
some variability.
great.
There'll be some variability in there too.
Perfect.
And I think Chris's instinct is right. People pay more attention to those that are current and they seem to be alive. At least that's what I do with LinkedIn groups. I just pay attention to the ones that seem to be the most active. I'm sure that's what we would want here.
Yeah. And you guys, just while we still need to go to the group, the Center for Management Strategies group, which we have on here on the Knowledge Network too. But I was really encouraging you guys to do something with a Facebook page. And it doesn't have to be goofy or anything, but the CPBB guys use that a ton, and LinkedIn as well. And I know you have a LinkedIn page because I think I was one of your followers.
You're the third person, yeah.
Well, you need to get some of those clients of yours following you and doing some of that kind of stuff, because it's man, there's so many people love what you do, and we just have to. The more people that we get on there, the more this stuff gets disseminated. So
sounds like a good paragraph in a blog somewhere. Exactly.
Yeah. And tell Pickering we're going to put his face on a Facebook if he doesn't figure something out.
Okay. Got it.
And hey guys, if it's helpful at all, we were trying to think this through as well. Just like the first few posts, we did one about the articles that we've written. So this is Center for Management Strategies brings you priority-based budgeting, library resources. The next idea was, can we create a post that will encourage people to ask questions if they've ever wanted to know more about priority-based budgeting? The whole point of this is maybe they'll contribute a number of their questions, and then John and I will actually write another post answering the questions. So it'd be a great established FAQ, more or less. Again, on this great forum, the ability to draw in questions, even if we have to plant them in the end, if no one has the courage to ask them. How great would it be that people could turn to this and say, oh, wow, I didn't even know that about HPO. So what I'm trying to say is, even if you wanted to do something exactly similar, make your first post about your own articles. The second post to try and do Q&A. We're just trying. You can use these templates too.
Yeah, good idea.
All right. Okay, so groups. Cheryl set up the group.
Oh, Chris, one other thing before you leave the blog.
Yeah.
You can, after you've posted it, you can actually go back and correct something. So if you see a typo, or for me, I forgot to put in the tags down there. And Chris, I don't know if you forgot to put in the tags on the Q&A forum.
Oh, you're right. I can go back.
Yeah. So you can actually go back into the edit this post,
Okay, good.
and it will add that stuff in for you. Yeah, I mean, you have to add it in, but then you can
Sure, yeah.
repost it and then it'll be corrected. So
It'll update it, yeah.
I learned that one the hard way. So,
No, that's great. Great point, Cheryl. And I do need to go back and add those tags. Awesome.
they're easy to forget,
And
for
they're
me
so
anyway.
useful. All right. Okay, groups. So this is what you have. You've entered these guys in, right, Cheryl?
Yeah, that's what if we're
Yes, I did.
contributors, we must be in the group, yeah.
Yeah, and I sent Kay an invite as well. So, or Linda, that Linda lady that we don't know. I think she just needs to accept or something like that, and then she'll be
Yeah.
in there too.
I guess
Or
I need
click
to
on all members.
Oops. Well, that's us.
Okay. Well, that's all of us that have accepted. Just so that you know, this Ron Supan, the guy down there, he's our marketing manager. So I invited him too in case he had any great ideas.
Cool.
Good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta get John. All right, very good. I don't know a ton about groups, but the neat thing is, as a Center for Management Strategies group, we can post questions within here that actually go live to the front page of the Knowledge Network. So I took the blog post, this one was more question oriented anyway. And when I posted it here as a question from the Center for Management Strategies group, and I go back to the homepage of the Knowledge Network, here it showed up on the question and answer side, which it seems like the question and answer definitely has a lot of interest. The blogs, we'll find out. But this is what you get in your once you start getting experience in the Knowledge Network, you're going to get a daily digest of conversations that are taking place. People asking questions that are in the topic areas and the tag areas that you signed up for in your personal profile. You'll get the questions that are popping up there, and so you'll want to look for those. Look for questions that others are asking to see if you can answer them. That's one way that we've had some interest already. And then another is to actually generate questions that others will participate in.
Okay.
In the groups, let's see. We have the members.
Chris, how did you get that blog post to the group question?
I re-entered it.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Copy and paste, huh? Right? Yeah.
Yeah. I went to questions, and I up here said, "Ask this group a question," and it came up similar. It's a different template, but it's a similar idea to a blog post. Oh, geez, I'm paused up here. Sorry. Here we go. So here's the question template. You can put the headline of the question, get into some more detail. Attachments, you can actually put in a document there. And then this was actually nicer, Cheryl. They had the total Dropbox of topics for certain questions.
Now, did you unclick Center for Management Strategies? That's why it went to the front page, or narrow down recipients?
Look at the items just below that. The
Oh,
question
yeah,
will be
Oh,
visible
okay.
online.
you're right.
Question will be visible only to the group.
Okay.
You're right, Cheryl. I clicked this.
Okay.
Um, so what would this do?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? The New Center Planning Group. That's a that Chris. Do you remember when you and John Pickering and Tony and came to DC in March and we did the
For sure.
planning session? That's the New Center Planning Group.
Right. I just don't. So these are the groups that I belong to. So yours would be
Yeah.
whatever groups you sign up for.
So don't send it to that one.
Yeah.
Nobody's active in that one.
But you wouldn't want to narrow it down if you wanted to show up on the front page, right? So that's why the other bubble. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
And I just clicked this green one that said this question will be visible online to the general public. So I
Okay.
think maybe it went to all of us and was available online. Must have been what
Okay.
happened. Okay. I'm going to go back out of this. In files, you can create a folder. So we actually may as well just do that now. Well, you can do it. You can set up your own folder however you want it titled. But
Okay.
that's how you would do it, is create a new folder. And we have the ability to actually create the library here. So we had links to our articles, but we also had PDFs. So we uploaded these files as well here, and then went back and put a comment on the blog that you can also visit the Center for Management Strategies group and
Hmm.
come into our file section and access these documents.
Okay.
So, I mean, big picture vision, if your work kind of breaks out into some topic areas that are kind of intuitive to people, maybe you can create a directory of folders that would just have a lot of content. This is really a neat.
Sounds like somebody's having a party.
I'm sorry, that was me. I opened a door.
Wow.
The party was outside.
Okay.
We haven't done anything on calendar, but I bet we could put in the ICMA conference, all the sessions that Cheryl had posted about in one of her blogs. We could probably
Yep.
post them here with a URL to the description and when they are. And I'd be interested if we did that on the homepage of. I'm just going to look at this real quick. There is a calendar section. Where is it? Oh, maybe it's the front page of ICMA in general I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't know what would. See here, upcoming events.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it would actually influence this running list, but I'm not sure.
I wonder.
Anyway, those are probably things that we can experiment with, is how to use the calendar basically to announce where are you guys going to be? How can they see you present at a conference? Or if you're going to do a webinar, maybe we can use the calendar to keep track of those dates and, again, give people more access to you.
Okay.
And then lastly, we don't have a wiki yet, and I'm not 100% sure. This will take some more research.
I think we have enough stuff.
Yeah. Although at one time we had talked about doing webinars, but webinars are not part of the Knowledge Network, right? That's a separate vehicle we have to use to do that.
It is, and actually, for both you guys, I had a conversation today with a guy that's now doing the webinars and the web workshops for ICMA. He's a relatively new employee as well.
Okay.
And just as an aside, I will tell you that if you are a former local government manager, you are a hot commodity at the ICMA office because everybody wants to know your thoughts on things.
Okay.
And what I told him is I said, well, my thought is that you need to do a series of web workshops and or webinars on our leading practices.
Yeah.
And I was particularly talking about, because Chris, I know you and John have done a number of webinars
Yeah.
on these things, but I was thinking that HPO topics would really lend themselves to these longer web workshops.
Yeah.
And told him, again, that you guys had this really extensive suite of services that you had available. So I actually sent him a copy of the PowerPoint that we're going to be doing out at the conference on HPO and
Okay.
the one on the assessment tools.
Good.
And
All
I
right.
said, these are just a couple of ideas. And then, Chris, I was telling him you guys as well, so.
Fantastic.
And so I'm looking to try to commandeer as much of this stuff as I can do for you guys. So if you all are willing, I am hoping that that is an offer that's going to come through here
Great.
in the next
Yeah,
couple months.
promising.
Yeah, we're thrilled. That's great, Cheryl.
Yeah, well, do you guys know Tom Wazorek at all with the Center for Public Safety Management?
I
Yeah,
don't.
we do.
Okay. Yeah, that is one of the centers under U.S. programs that, I mean, they have so much business they can't keep up with it, and part of it I think is the topic. They're all about bridging the gap between the city manager and their police and fire departments, which none of us really understand all that well. But they are out in front of people constantly in webinars, in presentations, and Tom tells me that that's where they get the majority of their clients.
Hmm.
Is when people can actually see them and see the product that they have to offer. That's just usually a huge benefit for them. So we're trying to. I'm just trying to open every door at ICMA that I can find for you guys and get the publicity and get you guys exposed out there to members. So if it's too much, then you guys can tell me to back off, but I'm just going to keep pushing them.
No, it sounds
Never
promising.
too-
That's good. Yeah.
Never too
Okay.
much.
Good.
Excellent.
Okay. Terrific.
Well, that kind of wraps up the. That's all I know.
Somehow I doubt that, Chris, but thanks. That was very useful.
Great.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm looking forward to using this. Thank you.
And we'll learn from each other as we go through this. This is all.
Yeah.
This is definitely new. The knowledge network is new territory for us to be posting to. So we'll also, to the extent that we do something that actually generates a lot of interest, we'll try and share it, our lessons learned, and look the same. Look to you guys for the same sort of lessons learned.
That'd be great. Thanks.
Well, great.
Now, Phil, are you going to be in Phoenix?
Still an open question, but we may be doing some work with Knowles Atomic that week, so I'm not sure yet.
Okay. But Kay, you're going to be there.
Yes, I'll be there.
Okay. So, of course, that'll be an opportunity for you to meet Kay, and I would kind of like to get everybody together, even if it's just over a glass of wine or something, and just kind of get the conversation going and generating some good ideas. So
Mine's always good for that, yes.
Always.
And I actually see Chris. Chris is in Denver. My youngest daughter's in Denver too, so
All right.
I need a trip out there for that. So I'll make sure we see him then, if not before.
that would be great. And
When do you come out here, Phil?
Don't have it scheduled yet, Chris.
Oh, okay.
Depends on this other client. So, but my youngest daughter's been there just over 2 years now. She loves Denver, and I have a brother that lives in Parker, Colorado. So I get out there a couple times a year usually.
Very cool. Well, we have beer instead of wine
And
out here, if
Chris-
that's okay.
Yeah, it's a hot
Chris,
spot
I
for
told
beer.
I told you that the HPO guys are definite wine connoisseurs. So if you're out and about with them, let them pick out the wine.
That's
John and
for
I,
Marcel,
John's in the
I'll be
room as well, and we're both completely open to your wine expertise.
I'm sorry, Kay.
Very open. Excellent. And certainly in October in Phoenix as well. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Great.
All right.
Well, thanks to everybody for your time, and
Thanks a lot.
let's rock this thing.
All right, guys. Take care.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.